Greetings, greetings, greetings. It is I, Oba Omi, and this is your next episode of Oba Omi Says. Thank you so much for coming and listening today. And we're going to go ahead and get right into it, you guys, because it's a lot that we got to go over. First and foremost, let's go ahead and do some housekeeping. Like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell for post notifications so you can be abreast of everything going on over here at Oba Omi Says. We are in the last month of the first quarter, so this is the best time to schedule your year reading with me. If you would like to schedule a year Mary D. Lagoon reading to issue, please follow any of my links in the description to my social medias or email on my website so that you can reach out to me to schedule your meeting. Excuse me, not your meeting, your reading. And next up, I want to say, you guys, I'm going to do my best to go ahead and start Station Head this week. So if you haven't already migrated over there, I want you guys to start migrating over to Station Head because I'm going to be talking about a lot of these topics more specifically as my show continues to evolve on Station Head. And some of the topics here on Oba Omi Says will change a little bit, so keep that in mind. So definitely go ahead and go follow me on Station Head. And I'm going to do everything I can to start this week. The link to Station Head is in the description as well, so go ahead and click that link and go to Station Head. And last but not least, all the chapters are in the description. So if you don't have time to watch this whole entire podcast at one time, you can very easily scroll down to the description tab, expand the description, go down on the expanded description to where it says chapters. There is a way to pick the chapters, the different parts of the show that you want to watch, whatever interests you, and click as you choose and click what you like. Listen to those things and come check out everything else when you have time. But that's about it for the housekeeping, you guys. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. All right, guys, we have a very interesting show today. It's been so much going on in the world of news, so I had to kind of get through it and see what was the most interesting to share with y'all. So we're going to start off with our pop culture and entertainment news. Like I said, it's been an interesting week. A lot of different news. So I kind of gave y'all a little bit of everything. We got a lot of world news, a lot of interesting perspectives. I didn't pick too much out of those, but we got some interesting things to talk about today, you guys. So kicking off our pop culture and entertainment news, we'll start off with our celebrity news. So let's take a look here at our celebrity news and see what's going on. First up, Kim Kardashian declared legally single. Other issues remain. Kim Kardashian became a single woman on Wednesday, nearly 8 years after her marriage to Ye. Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Stephen Cochran granted Kardashian's motion seeking the legal status. He smoothed over some procedural objections to the move from Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, and dismissed others. Kardashian, who appeared at the hearing via video conference, was put under oath to make a series of declarations required for the legal move. Mother, I'm going to ask you a series of questions now, said Cochran, a colorful judge who calls all divorcing parents in his courtroom mother or father. They included, did problems, disputes, and differences cause a breakdown of your marriage? And is it your desire to become a single person? After Kardashian answered yes to all, Cochran says, it's granted. The court can allow a person amid a complicated divorce to become legally single while issues of child custody and property are worked out. Cochran celebrated that the case was moving forward after stalling for several months. We've made a lot of progress in here, said the judge told Kardashian. We are rolling on this like a European train, fast and on time. Well, guys, Kim got what she wanted. I'm wondering, I saw it was a few articles. I'm sure Kanye's not the happiest guy in the world right now, but, and she dropped West. He finalized dropping West from Kardashian's name when hearing the hearing began, Kardashian came on the line. Cochran declared, "We're about the kids. We have 2, 4, 6, and 8, referring to the ages of the couple's 4 children. Is everybody doing okay? Everybody's doing okay," Kardashian says. So, Kim's a free woman. Well, I guess she's in a relationship with Pete Davidson or whoever she's in a relationship with, but she got it, you guys. So, do y'all care? Have y'all been keeping up with this? Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Moving right on along. Kid Rock to headline North Dakota State Fair. Kid Rock will headline the North Dakota State Fair this summer, and several top country acts and an award-winning rapper are also scheduled to perform. The Bismarck Tribune reports officials on Friday announced the grandstand entertainment lineup for the 9-day fair that gets underway July 22nd at the State Fairgrounds in Minot. Kid Rock and 1980s rock band Night Ranger will open the fair. Kowitzel and rapper Nelly also will perform. Country acts scheduled to perform are Cody Johnson, L.V. Shane, Will Bannister, Old Dominion, and Sam Hunt. Other grandstand entertainers include a demolition derby and the Mandan Hindatsa and Arakara Indian horse rally. So, you guys, who knew Kid Rock was still around? He's still out here entertaining these people. What y'all think about that? Y'all about to go to the North Dakota State Fair to see what's going on? And then Nelly's performing there, so that's interesting, you know. The has-beens, they still get gigs out in these streets. All right, Kid Rock. All right, Nelly. What's going on? What's up with it? What's up with it? So, let me know if y'all planning on going to North Dakota anytime soon to see what's going on out here in these streets in the summertime with Kid Rock and fellowing performers. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. Moving right on along. Janet Jackson, Nicki Minaj, Kevin Hart on tap for Essence. Janet Jackson, Kevin Hart, and Nicki Minaj are among the headliners announced Thursday for this summer's Essence Festival of Culture, which returns to New Orleans after a 2-year hiatus brought on by the coronavirus pandemic. Others tapped to entertain June 30th through July 3rd include New Edition, the Isley Brothers, Jasmine Sullivan, Summer Walker, The Roots and Friends, and D Nice and Friends. Essence Communications Inc. said in a news release, additional talents and details will be announced later. We are excited to welcome the family back live to New Orleans and thrilled to connect with more of our diasporic family through new digital experiences, Essence CEO Caroline Wanga said in the announcement. In addition to the nightly concerts inside the Superdome, the festival will include programming on networking, finance, career, wellness, fashion, beauty, and more at the Ernest Memorial Convention Center and other entertainment and venues citywide. Launched in 1995, to commemorate the 25th anniversary of Essence magazine, the festival has evolved into the world's largest celebration of Black women, culture, and communities, convening more than 530,000 people annually over the July 4th weekend in New Orleans, the company statement said. All right, you guys. So Nicki is one of our headliners, along with Janet Jackson and Kevin Hart. Y'all going to the Essence Festival? I think I might ball on out to New Orleans and see what's going on this summer, you guys. I got people out in New Orleans. You know, I got my people out there, so I might go out and see what they talking about, what's popping out in New Orleans. Let me know what you guys think about the Essence Festival coming up this summer in the comments. Moving right on along, you guys. BTS earns 3 new social media Guinness World Records. BTS is adding some more records to their already impressive career. Thanks to the loyal army of pop fans worldwide, the boy band collected 3 new social media records in the last month, according to Guinness World Records official website. BTS now boasts the record for most followers on Instagram for a music group as of February 2022. They reached 60,150,959 followers on social media platform. The group broke their own record for the feat in April 2021. BTS has broken the record with a staggering number of 40,220,226. More specifically, BTS member V secured 2 of his own records in just 5 hours. In December 2021, V notched the record for the fastest time to reach 1 million followers on Instagram, which was just 43 minutes and 4 hours and 52 minutes. He earned the record for the fastest time to reach 10 million followers on the platform. You guys, I guess, I didn't even realize that Instagram is passing out world records now. I mean, with this whole world of bots and all this stuff, I guess, I definitely know people be buying followers and all that type of stuff on Instagram. And where is BTS from? I'm being a little ignorant, but I think they're from Korea or somewhere. I definitely know they can hack into Instagram and do whatever they feel like doing. So it's just okay. So, but they getting Guinness World Records for this type of stuff. So I guess, but more power to BTS. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. The group gives me they just be having a whole bunch of dudes and they just dress them up however they want each one to look like. Oh, if one of them falls out, they got another lookalike somewhere. They just give me good clones or something. I don't know. BTS is not one of my favorite groups. They have an okay sound, but I don't know. I don't really buy into the BTS thing. But more power to them. They're getting Guinness World Records for whatever they're worth on social media platforms. So that's what's up, I guess. That's what's up. So let me know what y'all think about it. Do y'all buy this BTS Guinness World Record? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Moving right on along. Jack Harlow set to star in White Men Can't Jump remake. Jack Harlow is diving into the acting world. Oh. The What's Poppin' rapper is starring in the remake of the 1992 sports comedy White Men Can't Jump, according to Variety. He'll be taking on the role of Woody Harrelson portrayed in the original film. Calmatic is directing the reboot, written by Kenya Barris and Doug Hall. Barris is also producing the film via his company, Calibo Inc. Society, and Hall will executive produce with Brian Dobbins. Brooklyn Nets basketball star Blake Griffin, Ryan Khalil, and Noah Weinstein will executive produce through their label, Mortal Media. It's been a big year for Harlow already. He earned his highest debut on Billboard's Hot R&B and Hip Hop Songs chart without an accompanying act, as Nail Tech hit number 4 on the March 5th dated list. Industry Baby, released with Lil Nas X, bowed at number 1 on the August 7, 2001 survey and spent 18 weeks total atop the rankings. So, what you guys think about this? I'm not the biggest Jack Harlow fan. I guess that What's Poppin' song is cool. I didn't even know I heard so many versions of that song. I never even heard the original one. So, I heard so many remixes of it that I think I thought the remixes of them were the original ones. So, that got lost in the sauce for me. But, a lot of people think Jack Harlow panders to black people. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of his like that. I mean, he's okay. He's cool, I guess. Are y'all feeling Jack Harlow? Are y'all into this? I personally don't care to see him in White Man Can't Jump. I think I saw some of that original movie, but I wasn't really into those types of movies when I was younger. So I never really seen the whole movie all the way through. I've just seen excerpts of it. So I'm not really into it and not really into watching him in this new movie. But, what do you guys think? Let me know if you all are going to go check out Jack Harlow and White Man Can't Jump in the comments. And lastly, for our celebrity news, DaBaby on Rolling Loud Miami 2022 lineup year after homophobic rant. The 3-day July festival will be headlined by Ye, Future, and Kendrick Lamar. DaBaby is slated to perform at the 2022 Rolling Loud Miami Festival 1 year after the rapper was widely rebuked for making a series of hateful homophobic remarks from the main stage during his 2021 set. His slot on the second day of the 3-day July 22nd, 23rd, and 24th event was announced alongside with the rest of the lineup, which is slated to include a headlining set from Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, on the first day, along with Playboi Carti, Lil Durk, Don Toliver, and 2 Chainz. And the second day topped by Future, who will share the stage with Lil Uzi Vert, Gunna, Gucci Mane, and TJ, and many more. Lil TJ, excuse me, and many more. So, after all this, all they tried to put DaBaby through, blackballing him and all this stuff, they're going to let him come back to Rolling Loud again. I wonder how much they paying him. Are they like saying, oh, we'll do it for you again, but we're not going to pay you as much? I wonder what was the catch behind it. I personally didn't care about anything DaBaby said. None of it bothered me. So for me, it was coming from a place of, I don't know, like it was so much speculation. People thought he was talking to, like, people were saying he was on, in some deal relationship and he was talking about some guy. I don't know what he was talking about. Like, none of it meant anything to me at all. Everybody went off the deep end with it. It was what it was. I didn't care, but I just find it funny that after all this and after they drug him through the mud for a year, they just invited him back to do the same thing again. This is so funny and weird. These people are really weird out here in these streets in the music industry. I don't get it. Like, after all y'all did to him, now y'all have him back. Maybe they're like, well, you just gonna have to do it for free this year. I don't know what the catch was, but I'm sure it's some catch for them letting DaBaby perform. I don't even know if he's had any recent songs or anything. I don't even know what's going on with DaBaby because, I know he beat up that Danny Lay's brother, but that's the only thing I've heard about him recently. And all the trash stuff he did to Danny Lay, but hey, Yellowbone got what she asked for, so she wanted it so bad and wanted to tell everybody that's what he wanted. So hey, you got what you wanted. Like Lil Nas X said, that's what he wanted. That's what I want. So she got it. So I don't know, y'all. The Rolling Loud lineup sounds cool. I don't know if I'm going to go to Miami. I'm more into going to the Essence Festival. Maybe I might go. I don't know. But I probably won't be too pressed to go see DaBaby. But, I'm not opposed because I like DaBaby too. Like, he's cool. I like DaBaby. I supported some of his music. Just not the biggest fan of him, but he's definitely an interesting character. And I ain't got no issue with him, personally, despite what all they said about him. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Alright guys, for our next section, we have From the Gram and Twitter. Let's take a look at what's going on the From the Gram, the Instagram, and Twitter universe. Also guys, eventually I might start adding some TikTok posts to this particular segment, but we'll keep that for those times when we add them. But just keep that in mind. So first up, we have a post on Instagram from The Morris Day, if I'm saying it grammatically correct. So what was Morris Day old behind talking about? No, I'm just playing. Morris Day is not old. He is still fly, everything. I love Morris Day. So he posts an interesting statement. He says, I've given 40 years of my life building up a name and legacy that Prince and I came up with. A name that while he was alive, he had no problem with me using. I literally put my blood, sweat, and tears into bringing value to that name. In fact, he booked me on several tours and many jam-packed nights at Paisley Park under the name Morris Day in the time. Not once ever saying to me that I couldn't use that name configuration. However, now that Prince is no longer with us, suddenly the people who control his multi-million-dollar estate want to rewrite history by taking my name away from me. thus impacting how I feed my family. So as of now, per the Prince estate, I can no longer use Morris Day in the time in any capacity. So then it says, that's what the actual message says, and then in his caption it says, according to the Prince estate handlers, I can no longer use the name Morris Day in the time. I can't take this line down. You know, you guys, I really love the time, and some of you might not even know who any of these people are, but you know, if you've seen Purple Rain, you should know who Morris Day is. If you know any of the songs like Oak Tree or like Cool or any of those songs from the Prince era, y'all should know who the time is, Morris Day and the time. But you know, it's so sad to see how these things go down, you know, when it comes to these contracts and all these things in music. And you know, people do put a lot of things into music. I mean, even look at Megan Thee Stallion and the contract she signed that she's having problems getting out of, and all these artists that are in these different contractual agreements. But in this one, it just so happened that it came after Prince died with all the contracts that he made with the people that he was affiliated with. So, well, at least Morris Day can retain his own name. You know, he just can't use in the time, but this is sad. But let this be a lesson for all you younger people. Copyright your own things, make your own contracts, you know, do your own thing, become your own brand and business. We need more people doing that, and so we can start taking power away from these labels, because they're doing too much. Because all they're trying to do is monetize everything that people do and give them a platform so they can basically suck them dry, you know, suck their energy and soul dry in the name of a contract, and them making money for these bigger labels and things, you know. So many artists go broke and lose their rights to use these things as they get older, just like Morris Day. So let this be a lesson to you all about how things work in the music industry. Copyright and, you know, come up with your own names, copyright the names, all those things. Come up with your own business strategy and really review your contract with your own lawyer and people that has your best interest at heart when you go about signing any contractual agreement with your work attached to it. So that's interesting. So next up, let's take a look at the Twitter world and see what's going on over there. We got BTS. She actually made a tweet the other day saying, I always had the mentality of nobody gotta support you, so work harder because nobody cares. But that's just me. You know, that's what she said. I mean, and I really think this is in response to all this stuff that's been going on with all these people speculating, like, why would Nicki Minaj work with her? And all these rap girls coming forward talking about, oh, Nicki Minaj didn't do a feature with me, and crying over every little thing, and all this other type of stuff that they're doing. So, you know, like, I definitely agree with Bia. You know, she said that's just me, but that's also me too, Bia. So I understand. You know, nobody does have to support you. Just work hard, work harder, do more. You know, if you're not at the place where you at, do more. You know, people don't understand that. So, and that's the mentality that I've always had too. Nobody owes you anything and nobody's obligated to support you. So, you know, people have supported me begrudgingly and I don't like that energy. So I just remove myself and do whatever I have to do. But I am, however, grateful for the people that do support me, as I'm sure Bia is as well. So, interesting quote from Bia, interesting tweet. I definitely agree with Bia. And I'm going to continue to keep that mentality that nobody has to support you, like she's saying. So you guys remember that too. And moving on to our last meme, not memes, because I'm not even on the meme section. I'm on from the ground. So we got this Instagram post of Chloe Bailey at Fashion Week with some of her Fashion Week looks for the Paris Fashion Week in Paris, France. So, I like this outfit, but I'm not gonna lie to y'all. She is giving me Gunna's girlfriend all day, like he dressed her. Like, you know, a lot of people make jokes about Gunna, like about how he dresses and stuff. I actually like the way he dresses, but people say his clothes are too tight. People say he has this androgynous style of dressing, or he kind of dresses weird or whatever, but she's definitely giving me a Gunna vibe with this outfit that she has on. But surprisingly, you know, people always talk about how she shows too much and different things, so she's all the way covered up. What y'all guys got to say about that? I really like her outfit. I think, you know, I don't really think it's her particularly. I don't think she picked it out, but she was styled nicely. She could have missed me with the glasses, so she could have done some different glasses for me personally. But I mean, this is cute for Chloe. Like, I feel you, Chloe. That's what's up. Like, I don't think her dress are that long, but you know, that's a nice ponytail they put on her. Edges laid. You know, she did her thing. She got her legs out. But I ain't gonna lie, I can't see Gunna wearing this. I hope he wouldn't have his legs out like that though. But like, I can't see Gunna wearing this or something like that. It's giving me greater, like, you know, the pantomimes from churches that do the dances to the songs and stuff. Like, that's what it's giving me with the Chinese print on it. So, like, I'm living for this. But I like it. What you guys think about Chloe's outfit? What do y'all think about Bia's quote? What y'all think about the Morris Day situation? Let me know what y'all think about all these things from the gram and from Twitter in the comments. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and move on to our next section, which is music news and new releases, new music releases. So first up, I have an interesting article that's a follow-up to something that I reported on, I think it was last week, as a matter of fact. So the first thing we have up is Netrebko out of Met Opera over her support of Putin. So soprano Anna Netrebko withdrew from her future engagements at the Metropolitan Opera rather than repudiate her support for Russian President Vladimir Putin, costing the company one of its top singers and best box office draws. It is a great artistic loss for the Met and for opera, Met General Manager Peter Gelb said in a statement Thursday. Anna is one of the greatest singers in Met history, but with Putin killing innocent victims in Ukraine, there was no way forward. Gelb had said Sunday that the Met would not engage artists who support Putin. The Met made repeated efforts in recent days attempting to convince Netrebko to repudiate Putin, but failed to persuade her, a person familiar with the development said, speaking on condition of anonymity because that detail was not announced. The Met's decision followed the collapse of the international career of Russian conductor Valery Gergiev, who has been close to Putin as artistic and general director of Mariinsky in St. Petersburg. So you guys, so the follow-up is Anna Netrebko was saying that, oh, I have a shoulder injury, you know, all these things, I have to cancel my performance. But I'm wondering, was she just saying that, or was it really because she knew all this stuff was going on and this was really going on behind the scenes? Because, you know, just last week they was just saying, oh, well, she just had to cancel a few performances, even though they were saying she canceled performances everywhere. But, you know, Anna Netrebko supports Putin, so I guess that's it for her, baby, because until this Russian situation is over, because, you know, like, I don't even know, but, like, Anna Netrebko is not one of my favorite sopranos, but she, you know, this person speaks very highly of her, like she's one of the greatest singers in history, which I guess you can say. I guess you could say she's one of the most consistent, but it's so many beautiful singers that have came through the Met, and Anna Netrebko is not nearly one of my favorites, but she does have a beautiful voice. I can't come for her. I really love to hear her sing in certain roles. You know, I don't like her for everything, but you know, this is just interesting, you guys. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think she was capping? Like, you think she was serious about these? Because, you know, this was just last week. Like, how were you just saying that, oh, I had to cancel because of shoulder injuries, but now all of a sudden, like, it's all this other stuff. So, like, dealing with Putin. That's just very interesting to me, you guys. So, you know, I know everybody's not into opera, but as you all know that I am. So just reporting on it because I think it's something interesting to talk about. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Now, moving right on along to our new music releases for the week. Let's start off with some singles, you guys. So what's going on with the singles right now? You know, it's been some interesting singles coming out, but not a whole lot that I'm personally listening to. I know Camila Cabello featuring Ed Sheeran had came out with the Bam Bam. It's a cute little song, I guess. I'm not really that into it because, you know, I think Camila Cabello is just really trying to do something to make money. You know, she does have Hispanic heritage, but she's really leaning really far into that. And I've never particularly heard her do it. But then again, I'm not a big fan, so I could be ignorant. You get what I'm saying, you guys? So forgive me if I don't know. She might do this type of stuff all the time, but I'm not really buying it. But it's a nice little song. Not the biggest fan of hers, but, you know, Charlie XCX came out with Baby this week. So that was another interesting one. David Guetta, Afrojack, Missy Elliott, Bia, and Dolce came out with Trampoline, so that was an interesting one. Zendaya came out with new music, Elliot's song from Euphoria. So Dominic Fike and Zendaya came out with that song this past week, so that was interesting. I guess they planned that, you know, since the whole situation that happened in the show where he wrote a song. Machine Gun Kelly and Lil Wayne came out with A. So that's interesting. I might have to check that out. I'm not a big fan of Machine Gun Kelly, but Lil Wayne is my Libra brother, so I'm definitely going to have to check him out. Madonna and Sickick came out with Frozen Remake. So that's interesting. Might check out that single. What else came out, you guys? Nothing else. Really, it's a lot of independent artists that came out this week with singles. Not really listening to a lot of that stuff, so I couldn't really tell you guys about a lot of it, but it is what it is. So let's take a look at some albums that came out just recently on the 4th of March, Friday that just passed. Once again, like the singles, not a whole lot. A lot of independent artists or like lower, I won't even say independent artists, but artists not with a very big contract with these labels, because a lot of them I haven't even heard of. But let's talk about some of the ones that I have. Babytron came out with Megatron. That's an album that came out this week. We got Chief Cleopatra with the Luna EP. Interesting. Classic Dolly Parton came out with Run Rose Run. So that was an interesting piece of music that came out as well. We have Lightweight with This One's On Me. So that'll be that's another interesting one. Like I said, you guys, not a whole lot of very mainstream artists really came out this past week with anything. I'm trying to think. Okay, let's take a look and see what some hip-hop releases were. Well, I already talked about Megatron by Babytron. Before SHIT Got Weird by the Cool Kids, that just came out on the 4th as well. Saturday Afternoon Kung Fu Theater with RZA and DJ Scratch. What It Means to Be King by King Von, posthumous. I reported on this a few weeks ago, y'all. I don't know about all these posthumous album releases, but King Von just dropped his new one, so that's interesting. So that's what we got going on for the albums, you guys. So I don't know, I might have missed some things that you guys might like, but you're going to have to tell me what it is, because I obviously am not into it, so I wouldn't know about it. So you guys, let me know in the comments what you guys have been checking out over the past weekend. Let me know what I missed, what I ought to check out. Let me know what you guys are thinking about as far as the music that has just recently came out in the comments. And let me know if it's anything that I need to report on, because, you know, I said as much as I felt like I would listen to. So let me know what y'all think about all the new music releases, albums, and singles in the comments. Alright guys, moving right on along to our next section, which we have is the Billboard Charts. Let's take a look and see what's going on with the Billboard for all of those that buy into Billboard. So let's go ahead and take a look for what's going on this week. So let's start off with the Hot 100 on the US Hot 100 charts. Let's see what's going on. Of course, we don't talk about Bruno all year. Number one. Still number one on the hottest singles. So that's the thing, you know. Need I say anymore? It's been number one forever this year, and it still is number one. Number two, Heat Wave, Glass Animals maintaining number 2 slot. Still number 2. Gail moved up on the US charts to number 3 with ABCDEFU. You know, actually, this is her peak position, so she hasn't been that high on the US charts. She has on the global charts, but this is interesting. Adele moved down this week on the US Hot 100 to number 4. So, you know, she's kind of, you know, she's slowing down a little bit. So I guess people are starting to get over Adele a little bit. But, you know, it is what it is. She's had a very good run. She's been on the charts for 20 weeks. So, Kodak Black is moving up the charts again, you guys. He's number 5 again with Super Gremlins. So I guess that's why Kodak Black talking about he want a Beyonce feature, because he been on the charts for a while. But bro, slow your roll. Your little 16 weeks ain't that good enough for a Beyonce feature, but we got you. Stay by Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber has moved down, but it's been on the charts for 33 weeks, you guys. So Stay is still a big hit, of course, we know. Ghost by Justin Bieber moved back up to number 7 this week. It was number 8 last week, so it moved up. Ed Sheeran moved down with Shivers this week to number 8. But Ed Sheeran Bad Habits moved up to number 9. So got Ed Sheeran holding down 8 and 9 with Shivers and Bad Habits. And Dua Lipa and Elton John moved back up with the Cold Hearted Remix. Is back on the number 10 slot. So we got some interesting movements in the top 10. Pushin' P's moved down. That's What I Want moved down. Doja Cat, she's moving back up. She might be getting back up to the top 10. Jack Harlow's Nail Tech just made a premiere at number 18. Just as one thing to let you know. And an honorable mention we have at number 21. Lotto with Big Energy actually came as number 21. So I think this is her peak position, you guys. She's been on the charts for 18 weeks. So, you know, that's nice for her. She getting on up there. Go ahead, Big Lotto. She doing her thing. So that's the Hot 100 US singles for right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Billboard 200 for albums. So number 1, of course, the Encanto soundtrack. Thank you. We don't talk about Bruno. They just dominating the charts. Number 1 all over the place. You know, so of course, Encanto number 1. Gunna is holding down the number 2 spot, and I was just coming for him with the Diaz Forever the other week, talking about how he falling off real quick, you know, but obviously not. He doing his thing. Gunna is still holding down the number 2 spot. Dangerous, the double album, Morgan Wallen still number 3. The Highlights by The Weeknd. Interesting thing, The Highlights has moved back up, you know, so that's even higher than his other album, the one that just came out, so that's interesting. Olivia Rodrigo, Sour is number 5. Yeet just hit the charts with 2 Alive at number 6. Drake, he moved down a few spots this week to number 7 with Certified Lover Boy, his album. So did Planet Her, she moved down a few slots as well. Doja Cat moved down. And Eminem, he moved down Curtain Call the Hits to number 9 this week. He was number 8 last week. And Adele is number 10 on the albums. I guess y'all get tired of Adele. Y'all telling her, we gonna go easy on you, alright. You know, it's like, whatever. So, one album entering the charts is Once Twice Melody by Beach House at number 12. That's an honorable mention. Taylor Swift is still number 15 for the Red, Taylor's version of the Red album. Lil Baby is moving up. He's My Turn. That album's moving up to number 17. You know, he's going back up on the charts. But he's been on there for 104 weeks, so he's maintaining his spot. Juice WRLD moved down, though, to number 20. So, you know. Donda moved down, too, to number 21. So, you know, so the Billboard 200 album charts is interesting right now. Let's take a look at the global 200 charts and see what's going on. So guess what, guys? On the global charts, we have a new number one for a while. Heat Waves by Glass Animals, which has been on the US charts, is number one. And we don't talk about Bruno as far as singles, for global singles, moved down to number 2. I haven't seen We Don't Talk About Bruno at anything but number 1, so that's interesting. So Heat Waves knocked down Glass Animals. Now I know Adele and We Don't Talk About Bruno, Easy on Me and We Don't Talk About Bruno have been battling. But that's one thing. So that's on the global. This is on the global charts, you guys. We got Gail with ABCDEFU moved down to number 3 this week. Mommy with Becky G and Carol G at number 4 moved up. Cold Heart globally moved down to number 5. Enemy by Imagine Dragons number 6. Kid Leroy's would stay at number 7. Bad Habits and Shivers at number 8 and 9 on the global charts. It was number 7 and 8 on the US charts. And then we have Adele with Easy on Me at number 10, holding down the number 10 spot globally. So Adele is still top 10, but she's been on the charts for 20 weeks, so she's doing her thing. We got Industry Baby moving up globally, almost back up to the top 10. And everything's kind of pretty much same on the Global 200. So let's look at the Artist 200. The Artist 100, on Billboard. So at number 1, we got Ed Sheeran this week. Last week he was number 2, so he moved up. The Weeknd moved down from number 1 to number 2 this week. Adele's holding down the number 3 spot on the Artist 100. Doja Cat moved up to number 4. Moved up a couple of spots. Drake moved up a few spots too to number 5, so he's getting back up there on the artist charts. Morgan Wallen moved up to number 6. He jumped several spots. Justin Bieber did too this week to number 7. Luke Combs jumped up several points too to number 8. Eminem moved down. He was number 4 last week, but he's number 9 this week. And Beach House re-entered the charts at number 10, you guys, on the Artist 100. So, and in the top 20, we still got some. Jack Harlow just entered into the top 20. He's number 17, just re-entered rather. And we got Lil Baby. He moved down several spots, but he's holding down number 20. So we got some interesting movement on the Billboard charts. What are you guys thinking about all this? Does this reflect what you guys are listening to, what you all are streaming, what you guys are hearing out and about in public and on the radio? Let me know if you all buy it and if this reflects what's going on with music for you in the comments. Moving right on along to our next segment, we have our film and television news, you guys. So first up, before we get to our new film and television releases, we have one interesting article this week. So let's go ahead and talk about that first. So first up, we have The Batman gives movie theaters a new hope with big launch. Batman has his fair share of pressures from saving Gotham to saving movie theaters. And while they're both still decidedly works in progress, The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, managed to give a little glimmer of hope to both by grossing $128 million in North America, according to studio estimates Sunday. The latest relaunch of the 80-year-old comic book character is well above Warner Bros. Conservative estimates going into the weekend, which had a film pegged for a debut in the $90 million range. It's the best opening of 2022 and the second best of the pandemic, though it's more than $100 million shy of Spider-Man No Way Home's still unbelievable $260 million opening in a weekend opening weekend in December. The Batman opened this weekend exclusively in theaters in 4,217 locations on over 12,500 screens in North America. There were some fan events on Tuesday and Wednesday leading into Thursday pre-show in about 3,300 locations. All told, by the close of Friday, The Batman had grossed $57 million. No other major studio dared compete with their own film. Internationally, The Batman earned $120 million, bringing in globally total of $248.5 million. Warner Bros. Halted its release in Russia following the country's invasion of Ukraine, saying that the company will monitor the situation as it evolves. Many major studios made similar decisions with their films. Dang, Russia, y'all not even getting no releases of the new movies and stuff? That's interesting. But yeah, you guys, so what you guys think? That was something interesting. Like they said, it wasn't as much as the December release of Spider-Man, but the Batman, like, I don't know about y'all, but I ain't got it in me to watch no more Batman movies. I've been watching Batman movies since, forever. So I'm good on all of them. And y'all already know, I've told y'all this before, my whole philosophy on both Marvel and DC characters, which Batman comes from the DC universe. I just think all the comic books should have stuck to animations. They had plenty to do in the realm of animation. Marvel is primarily an animation now because it's just CGI, so and I'm sure DC is like that with most of this stuff now too. So they all look like video games. So I'm kind of over like a lot of the. That's one thing, because I'd rather just watch an animation personally as opposed to having the live action. So it is what it is. So I'm not going to see the Batman, but I'm glad it had a good release. That's nice for them. You know what I mean? Did you guys go see the Batman? Are you guys going to go see it? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Now let's go ahead and move right on along to our film openings for the week. So the Batman opened last week, you guys. So let's talk about our new releases for this week. So this week we got Tyson's Run. Just opened up on Friday. Did you guys go see that? BTS Permission to Dance came out on Saturday, so that was at selected theaters. The Adam Project just came out on Friday. One of my favorite operas aired on the live stream in the movie theaters from the Metropolitan Opera, Ariadne of Naxos by Strauss. Oh my God, this is one of my favorite operas in the world. I love all the characters. I love the opera. It can be boring at times, but the music is so gorgeous. It's my favorite opera. I would have gone to see it, but I don't be trying to go to the movie theaters like that. I just watch an older performance of it because I love every performance of Ariadne of Naxos, almost everyone that I've seen. Everything Everywhere All opened on Friday. Turning Red, animation movie, Pixar, whatever it was, Disney Pixar, that just opened on Friday. The Kashmir Files opened on Friday. The Cherry Bushido, A Song for Caesar, Off Season, The Exorcism of God. Like, y'all, are they exorcising God, or like, are they just saying the exorcism is of God? I'm so sick of these exorcism movies, like, Lord Jesus. But yeah, that one came out. The Royal Opera House, they just opened up on Thursday. Fading Petals came out opened up on Wednesday. And Ash and Dust came out on Friday, you guys. So, slow movie week. The biggest thing for me would have been Ariadne of Naxos. But yeah, slow movie week, you guys. Not sure about how that all went down. What did you guys go check out movie-wise? Did I miss anything? Any independent releases that I didn't know about that I missed? Let me know what you guys went to go see or what you're going to go see in the comments. And last but not least, we have our television releases for the week. So let's see what came out on Friday, and let's go ahead and move forward into this next week coming up. See what's coming out. So Pieces of Her came out Friday, March the 4th. Central Park. The Boys Present Diabolical on Prime Video. Central Park was on Apple TV, and Pieces of Her was on Netflix, guys. Lucy and Desi came out on Friday on Prime Video, so that was interesting. The Circus came out at 8 p.m. on Showtime on Sunday. Let's see. Outlander came out on Stars on Sunday. What else do we have? Unexpected on TLC. The Courtship on NBC. The Weakest Link came out on March the 6th. Winning Time, The Rise of the Laker Dynasty on HBO, March 6th as well. Let's see, Crime Scene Confidential coming out on Tuesday on the ID channel. We got Tuesday, March the 8th, that is. Perfect World, A Deadly Game on Peacock on March the 8th. Last One Standing on March the 8th on Netflix. An Astrological Guide for Broken Hearts. That sounds like a good one that I check out. Just to give y'all some advice. On March the 8th, Tuesday, March the 8th on Netflix. Chip and Potato on Netflix. Wux on HBO Max. Queer Eye Germany on Netflix on March the 9th. Andy Warhol Diaries on March the 9th, Wednesday. Last Kingdom on Netflix on March the 9th. Weekend Family on Disney Plus March the 9th. Survivor on CBS, 8 p.m. March the 9th. We got Kung Fu on the CW on March the 9th. And we got a lot of releases on Thursday. Let's see. Bust Down on Peacock on Thursday the 10th. Theodosia on HBO Max the 10th. Ghost Adventures on Discovery Plus on the 10th. Love, Life, and Everything in Between on Netflix number 10 on the 10th. Karma's World on Netflix on March the 10th. So we have some interesting things coming up this week on television. Not too much that I'm going to check out, but you guys let me know what you're going to check out. Let me know if I missed anything for TV and film that's coming out for the week. Let me know what you guys are checking out. Let me know what I might have missed. And comment all these things in the comments. Alright guys, so we're going to move on to our next segment, which is the world news. So guys, there's a lot going on around the world, especially with this stuff going on in Russia. So much to the point that, you know, it's kind of, I guess, oversaturated with this Russian news. I don't even know if I like all the way buy a lot of it because it's just really sensational right now, you guys. So it's very interesting to me what's going on. So, but I did find some interesting things going on in the world that I do want to cover with the Russia situation, and also some interesting things going on that we have over here in the U.S. So I want to go ahead and talk about these topics, and we'll go ahead and start off first on the world news segment with our United States news, U.S. news. So first up, we have teachers reimagine U.S. history lessons with eye on diversity. So sit down, be quiet, follow instructions. Brandon Brown followed these rules when he started teaching, seeking order in a classroom setting he was all too familiar with growing up. But he quickly realized that was not working for his students and that they were just regurgitating what he had told them. So he decided to get creative. Brown, a former history teacher and assistant elementary school principal, is now a Billboard charting educational rapper who performs around the world. Who performs around the U.S. He founded Schoolyard Rap, a California-based company that produces music about historical Black, Latino, and Indigenous people, often not found in traditional textbooks. By state standards, my students had to learn about old white slave owners, but they were young Black kids, and it wasn't connecting, said Brown, who released his latest album under his stage name, Griot B. This education system is whitewashed completely. But doing what I do, I'm able to introduce and refocus on people of color so students are getting the full range of American history. This is so beautiful, you guys. So, you know, it also says teachers have long sought ways to deliver a complete version of U.S. history that engages their students and includes contributions by people of color. They have been recognized after the 2020 police killing of George Floyd to take different approaches in the classroom that would challenge an education system many believe doesn't allow for critical thinking and forces a narrow world view. You guys, I could go on and on for days about this, but I'm not going to say too much about this right now. I'm going to save this actually for, from the headlines and spiritual perspectives, because I definitely want to talk more about this particular article right here, you guys. So let me know what you all think about this in the comments. I think it's very interesting, and I'm going to talk about it more in the spiritual perspectives from the headlines section. So let me know what you guys think. Let's go ahead and move on to our next piece of news. So, next up, we have Florida Governor DeSantis berates students for wearing masks. Woo. A visibly annoyed Florida Governor Ron DeSantis admonished a group of high school students for wearing face masks at an indoor news conference Wednesday, saying it was time to stop what he called this COVID theater. The Republican governor approached the students and asked them to remove their masks as they waited for him at the press event at the University of South Florida in Tampa. The college is located in an area where the Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention still recommends indoor masking due to high COVID-19 risk. You do not have to wear those masks. I mean, please take them off. Honestly, it's not doing anything. We've got to stop this COVID theater. So if you want to wear it, fine. But this is ridiculous, he said, letting out an audible sigh and shaking his head. DeSantis, a fierce opponent of virus mask and vaccine mandates, is running for re-election and is considered to be a potential 2024 GOP presidential candidate. His opposition to coronavirus masking and vaccine mandates have drawn national attention, and his administration has banned mask mandates in school, often with the governor and his Republican supporters saying parents should have control over the health care choices of their children. You guys, this is funny to me, and there is a video of him doing this, and when I tell you, he definitely was annoyed, and he was over it, baby. He was over it. It was hilarious to me. I think this is funny, you guys, but, I'm not going to get too much into it because, YouTube and all these other platforms, they get upset when we really start talking about it, but I'm just reporting what the news said and what this governor of Florida said. So I don't know where he got his opinion from. I don't have one YouTube, so I just wanted to report on this, and I thought it was hilarious personally. How I feel about it, we'll talk about it if you all want to DM me or something. But, I think this was interesting. It was definitely funny. You guys definitely got to check out this video of Governor DeSantis because he is going in on these high school students wearing these masks. It's so funny to me. But what do you guys think? Do you all think that it's COVID theater? Is that what you all think about it? Do you agree with Governor DeSantis? Do you think that we got to stop this? He's already ended mask mandates in schools in Florida. So what do you guys think about this? Are you all going to vote for him if you're in Florida for governor again? Or is anybody going to vote for him or support him for his presidential run if he goes for president? Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. Coming up next, our last piece of U.S. news. Stocks tumble as war overshadows fantastic, in quotations, U.S. job data. Stocks around the world racked up more losses Friday as even a gangbusters report on the U.S. jobs markets can't pull Wall Street's focus off its worries about the war in Ukraine. The S&P fell 0.8% and posted its third weekly loss in the last four. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 0.5%, and the NASDAQ Composite ended 1.7% lower. The declines for U.S. stock indexes followed sharper losses in Europe after a fire at the continent's largest nuclear plant caused by shelling raised worries about what's next. Markets worldwide have swung widely over the last week on worries about how high prices for oil, wheat, and other commodities produced in the region will go because of Russia's invasion, inflaming the world's already high inflation. Treasury yields sank again as investors moved money into U.S. government bonds in search of safety, and a measure of nervousness on Wall Street climbed. All the movements came despite a much stronger report on U.S. jobs than economists expected. One described as encouraging as even fantastic. Hiring by employers last month topped expectations by hundreds of thousands of workers. More people came back into the workforce after sitting on the sidelines, and job numbers for prior months were revised higher. Now, you guys, I think something is really fishy about all this. I don't know, you guys. I want to talk about this. This is actually something else I want to talk in from the headlines because, you know, this smoke and mirrors of like allegedly jobs being fantastic for hiring and all this stuff right now, but stocks going down in this war. It seems to be something else. So you guys let me know what you think about this, and I'm going to save my opinion for spiritual perspectives from the headline section, because this is very interesting to me. So I'm going to save my opinion for that, and we'll talk about that in the next segment. Moving right on along to our world news, you guys. So now we're on our world news. Let's see what's going on around the world. So first up, China seeks to unify public in support for Russia. As the West condemns Russia, President Vladimir Putin has vocal supporters in China, where the ruling Communist Party tells its people they are fellow targets of U.S.-led harassment. If Russia is destroyed, we will be next. This is for sure, says Wang Yongcheng, a retiree of Beijing. The United States wants to dominate the world. Such comments reflect the stance of a ruling party that is the closest thing Putin has to a major ally. The war should stop, but the United States is to blame. President Xi Jinping's government has tried to distance itself from Russia's offenses, but avoided criticizing Moscow. The government has offered to act as mediator and denounce trade and financial sanctions against Russia. Ruling party control of all Chinese media and intensive internet censorship make it hard to gauge public opinion. But what the party allows online and requires media data to publish make clear what it wants the public to think. Media outlets were told last week to post only pro-Russian content and to censor anti-Russian or pro-Western views, according to a copy of instructions posted on the social media accounts of the newspaper Beijing. The post was later deleted. See, guys, what y'all gotta understand is that Russia is a part of Asia. You know, we don't include that, but one thing, well, first and foremost, Russia, Asia, and Africa is all one continent. So, you know, they want to separate it and make it seem like it's something different. But they're all one continent. You're Africa, Asia. That's what I call it. Just like North and South America is one continent too, low key. So, really, I mean, I guess you can say we have a narrow strip so you can split the land in two. But really, we're just one continent. But they're definitely one continent. You know, separated by a few bodies of water, little bodies of water that separate the three larger land masses, I guess. But, you know, but with that being said, of course, in my mindset, of course, China is going to support Russia. They're their neighbors. They're right above them. So that's interesting to me, you guys. You know, and I'm going to talk about this when I get into the stocks and the whole thing in the next segment when I talk about it in from the headlines. But this whole thing of the war, you guys, I just don't know. Like, it just seems very... It seems like it's a lot more that they're not really saying. Obviously, in China, they're not saying it because they just, like they said in this article, they want the public to think a certain thing, and it just is what it is. And they're going to put out what they want the public to think. So that's the public's opinion. So, you know, they're a communist country. So, you know, it's just interesting, you guys. I don't even know what to think about all this. Like, you know, I hear so many things. Of course, you know, the conspiracy theorists are going crazy right now, talking about all the things that it could or could not be. You know, Associated Press and all the news outlets are saying things. Everybody on social media talking about, oh, pray for Russia, and gonna talk about pushing peace and all this other foolishness. So it's like, I mean, this is just one big world gimmick. To me, it's just like, it just seems unusual. I mean, if people are dying, please forgive my ignorance, you guys. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't read the right things. Maybe I just haven't seen the right things. But this all seems like in every country, they want us to think a certain thing. Here in the U.S., they're putting out certain things. Obviously, in China, they're putting out certain things for their public to think. In Russia, I'm sure they're putting out certain things that they want their public to think. So, I don't know, you guys. It's just all giving me just, you know, pomp and circumstance, just to give us something to be concerned about since we're becoming less and less concerned about COVID-19. So I don't know. You guys gotta let me know what you all think about this in the comments. Once again, if I'm ill-informed and ignorant on the subject, please forgive me, you guys. I mean, no offense about any of this, but I don't know. Maybe somebody let me know what's going on, because I don't get it. Like, you know, I've heard so many stories to the point that I was just like, you know what, don't even worry about it. The Ukraine president is doing comedy specials. It's too much for me. All this is just too much for me. I don't understand what's going on with any of this. So you guys let me know what you all think about all this in the comments. And lastly, for our world news. All right, y'all better look out, Tesla. Japan's Honda and Sony joins forces on new electric vehicle. From Tokyo, two big names in Japanese electronics and autos are joining forces to produce an electric vehicle together. Sony Group Corp and Honda Motor Company agreed to set up a joint venture this year to start selling an electric vehicle by 2025. Both sides said Friday. The plan is to bring together Honda's expertise in mobility development, technology, and sales with Sony's imaging, telecommunications network, and entertainment expertise. A union of traditionally different manufacturing businesses is uncommon for Japan, but it makes sense in the age of electric vehicles, which lack gasoline-powered engines and have complicated electronics. All the world's automakers have been developing zero-emissions electric vehicles as concerns grow about pollution and climate change, but they face tough competition from relative newcomers like Tesla. The joint venture will develop and design the product, which will use Honda's plant for manufacturing. Sony, which makes the PlayStation video game console and owns movie and music businesses, will develop the mobility services platform. Honda makes the CR-V sport utility vehicle and Clarity plug-in hybrid and already has its own electric vehicle program, teaming up with General Motors to share platforms for EVs in North America. You guys, I ain't gonna lie, look, I see Elon Musk, he's sitting up here having these meetings with the auto commissions and stuff. There was another article about that. They are concerned over here at Tesla. These Teslas out here braking randomly on the highway at high speeds. Don't nobody know what's going on. And now you got two Japanese superpowers joining up, Honda and Sony. Yeah, Tesla, I'm straight on y'all. And I was just talking about this the other week when I was talking about Teslas. I'm straight on it. I never was intrigued. I felt like most people was getting it for the flex anyway. So I'll wait on Sony and Honda to get an electric car because I'm straight on Tesla. I don't know how you guys feel about it. No offense to the people that own Teslas, but I'm good on it. I'll wait for Sony and Honda, a real car maker. No, I'm just playing because I actually mostly haven't had Toyotas and endorsed Toyota, which is another Japanese company, but I know if Sony's working with Honda, they'll be coming with Toyota, but I might move on over to the Honda family. You know what I mean? If this is the case. So I was just saying this the other week when I was talking about Tesla, y'all. I don't think right now is the time for, and if Sony and Honda are just now coming to this conclusion, I know Tesla was ahead of the gun. They had to have been. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to efficiency, mostly. I mean, Tesla, I guess, is more so of a luxury car. But, you know, obviously they're having some issues. And Elon Musk over there, he's a little concerned because he's meeting with all these people and trying to have all these, look, he already knows Sony and Honda are coming with it. So just be ready, you guys. I'm excited about this Sony Honda collab. It's gonna be better than Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B with WAP. This is like the car WAP. This is like, y'all remember the Sprite commercials from back in the day with all the female rappers from back then? That big collaboration that they had. This is like Sony and Honda coming together. It's like the new age Sprite commercials with all those rappers coming together at the end back then. So, you know, I'm excited about this joint venture. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment. Are y'all still team Tesla? Or are y'all about to be team Sony and Honda? I already know what team I'm on personally. So let me know what you guys think about this collabo in the comments. Alright guys, so let's move on to our next segment, which is spiritual perspectives. So we have a lot of interesting things to talk about in spiritual perspectives. You know, it was a lot of world news, just a lot of things going on in the celebrity world, pop culture world, everything that's going on. So I just want to delve a little deeper and see if there's some spiritual oversight, you know, from our higher selves that we might can see into some of these subject matters. So let's go ahead and start off with our From the Headlines section. So first up, we have from the headlines, Teachers reimagine U.S. history lessons with eye on diversity. So this article was a very interesting article to me. I talked a lot about the part with Brandon Brown, but it was another interesting part of this article that talked about a social studies teacher. Her last name was Eddings. I think her name is Katie Eddings. And she's a teacher in North Carolina's Lee County. And, you know, she's definitely agreeing with Brown in the aspect of how we need to just do more to expand our view on it. So she said, you know, this is a quote from her in that same article. It says, she said, "Every kid in America knows 1492 Columbus sailed the ocean blue. And they know the three ships, and that's great," said Katie Eddings, a middle school social studies teacher in North Carolina's Lee County. "But do you know what his motivation was during that time period?" Very interesting question, Katie, right? Eddings, whose mother is Lumbee, shows her students excerpts from Columbus' diaries and pushes them to discuss what forces might have shaped the voyages, the achievements that resulted, and the harm caused. So, two things. One, Katie Eddings, whose mother is Lumbee, so obviously she is Indian, American Indian that is, so she's an American Indian. So I thought that was very interesting, and this is from North Carolina, and you know, Brandon Brown, who has the rapping group, the educational rap group that he does, you know, that was an assistant elementary school principal, he specifically said trying to connect people with a better version of history, and he was using the terms people of color as opposed to just slave owners and black. Like, you know, I can go on for days and days about this, because anybody who knows me, one, you know, in my spiritual work, I do a lot of work with the ancestors. Of course, you guys know that. But I also do a lot of work in actual historical, genealogical, and ancestral research by record. So, you know, when I'm in Atlanta, you know, when I'm in Georgia, I go to the National Archives in Georgia. I go to the state archives in Georgia. I've been to the state archives of the local states in the southeastern region. You know, when I get a chance, when I'm out in California, I'm never that far north, because I believe the National Archives it's either in San Francisco or it's somewhere in the middle of the state, but it's significantly farther away than from LA than I would want to just go, because that's going to be like a whole few day trip when I go to California National Archives. But the point that I'm making is that it's a lot more to the story than what they tell us in history. And anybody that has even gone one time to one of these archives knows these things. So I'm very grateful from the ancestral perspective that these teachers are really seeing a need for this, especially in history and social studies, because this is necessary. And a lot of us, quote unquote, black people, you know, we don't really know our history. You know, we don't talk about that within our families. The only thing we know about is whatever we were taught from school. And as far as when it comes to me, things that we were taught from school do not align with the historical research that I've seen in the archives. So if I were to take you or anybody to the National Archives or to any of the state archives, you'd be questioning a lot of what we learned in school as well, because those things just don't add up. You know, so you know, I'm gonna leave that there, because I can go on and on and on about this subject, but good for all these teachers that are asking these questions about these curriculums and what they're teaching these children, because there needs to be much more critical thinking involved. And I'm starting to think a lot of these children, they already know what the real deal is and they're not buying into it anyway, which is just so interesting how so many more more and more these younger generations are just not into schooling, and just the educational system is just falling apart. So that's just interesting to me. Maybe they should teach truth instead of, white supremacy, as some may think. Maybe they should teach facts instead of, made up things for standardized tests. Maybe that would help. But that's just my personal opinion on it. It's from my spiritual oversight, from my research, and also what my ancestors have placed in me to impart to you guys listening that, do yourself a favor, look up your own family history, go invest in your state archives, your city archives. If your family's from a certain city, go to the courthouse, go get these records, go ask your elders in your family that are alive what they know about certain things, because you'll see very quickly that a lot of things that we learned about slave stories and coming over here on boats and all that stuff was what may not be the case for you, more than likely. So I'm going to leave that at that. And you guys let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. Let me know what spiritual perspectives you all have for that. And last but not least, we have the stock tumbles as war overshadows fantastic U.S. job data. Now, this is what I'm going to say about this, you guys. I'm sure you all noticed I've been kind of reporting over the past few weeks on like how allegedly jobs are going up, but I was asking the question just a couple of weeks ago, like, where are jobs going up at? Because I see like Burger Kings and McDonald's and grocery stores and stuff, they're all telling people that they're hiring. But as far as real sectors and real industries that, pay a living wage and that people that might have a collegiate education or things like that, those jobs, I'm not really seeing a lot of them. There are a lot of remote jobs that are out here right now. I will say that I've heard a lot of that, and I've called a couple of, organizations where I've had to speak to people that were remotely working from home, and I'm just like, you people are so unprofessional. It's like they're giving anybody jobs nowadays. So I can't say I've seen some evidence of just random people being representative for certain companies or organizations, but I think this is interesting because they're claiming the jobs are going up, yet the stocks are going down and all over the war. So you mean to tell me all these companies that are on the stocks, like all of them are contingent upon things that come from Russia or deal with this Russian war and this invasion of Ukraine? Like, I'm not understanding this, you guys. This is giving me smoke and mirrors. This is giving me, they're telling us one thing and doing another. A lot of people feel that way about the whole pandemic itself. Like, they've been saying a lot of things and doing another. Now with that, we got governors coming out saying that it's a pandemic theater. So like, what's going on with this Russian thing? Like, we all know with things like 9/11 and the war in Iraq and all that stuff in Afghanistan and all these things from earlier in the 2000s, years and years later, it came out that there's a lot of speculation about these things because they weren't as though they were said in the media. So, you guys, I don't know why I'm getting that same energy from this situation with Russia. Like I said, people lost their lives in 9/11. People are probably losing their lives in Russia for all I know. Like I was telling you all earlier, I'm ignorant to a lot of these things because for me, the energy that's coming to me is a lot of confusing energy. It's all over the place. So I don't know, in my spiritual sense, in my spiritual sight, I'm not knowing what to decipher as real and fake. So to me, I just kind of like let it all fade to black. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like whatever. Like, because it just all seems like very sensational and like they're trying to push an agenda in the same way that a lot of people feel that they were trying to push a pandemic agenda, just for people to call it a theater now. So all this just seems very theatrical, very sensational. I don't know what's going on. And now the Ukraine president has a comedy special out. So it is not a special like a Dave Chappelle special. It's like a comedy series or something. But all this is just kind of crazy to me. Like the way that everything is playing out. My spiritual spidey sense is saying like, nah, for some reason. I don't know what you guys are thinking. You all let me know what I said about this in the comments. Like I said earlier, if people are dying and you all know people, please forgive me. Like I'm admittedly ignorant on certain things when it comes to this, because from my standpoint, from my subjective viewpoint, I'm hearing so many things, so I don't know what to believe. So you guys let me know how you all feel about all this and what your spiritual sisters are telling you about this whole Russia situation and the fact that the stocks are tumbling, even though allegedly jobs are going up. You know, let me know how you guys feel about all this in the comments. All right, guys, next up in our spiritual perspective segment, we have meme analysis. So let's take a look at some quote memes that I've found circulating around the internet and are getting popular. I've seen them multiple times. So let's talk about what we got going on today under the meme analysis. So first up, we have the video title meme, which says, "The first thing you should know about me is that I'm not you." A lot more will make sense after that. You guys, I love this quote. You know, I pride myself on accepting people for who they are. You know, everybody's not on the spectrum of being good, and everybody's not on the spectrum of being bad. You know, depending upon where people are in life, they can be on either spectrum. You know, we don't live a straight black or white life. We don't live a straight light or dark life. Much of life is in a very gray area. So I try to accept people for who and what they are. So the way I look at this quote, it says, "First thing you should know about me is that I'm not you." So, you know, people build up expectations of how they feel people should be or how they should act around them, you know, or how they should be in general. Like, you know, people that are very strict in religions and things like that, they're like that. You know, they might feel like, well, this is a sin and that's not a sin. Now, with all this being said, I do believe that there is a standard way to live in the light. I choose myself to live in the light and not to live in darkness. However, that doesn't mean that you don't have dark times or that you might not have another side to yourself. Everybody has a side, all kinds of sides to themselves, and they learn these things as they grow. So, you know, I think everybody should respect each other and know that you're not another person. And try to minimize as much as you can the expectations as you have a lot of another person or about another person, because you're not them and they're not you. So it's funny that this quote says a lot will make sense after that. Once you realize, it says the first thing you should realize about me is that I'm not you. So you might believe in this. You might think that. You might feel like this is the way people should act around you, but that really has nothing to do with me. You know, and if people truly understood that, a lot more would make sense in my opinion, you know what I mean? But, you know, I think that's something that people learn. So I think acceptance and understanding are two tools for people to understand this meme and understand this quote and see how it applies to a lot of things. So, you know, I personally agree with this, and I said it definitely with a certain inflection of, I guess, an attitude that some people might consider condescending, but it is what it is, because guess what? I'm not you. So how I talk, how I do things, that's me. So once you understand that, a lot more things will make sense after that. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments about this particular meme. So next up, we have the biggest communication problem is we do not listen to understand. We listen to reply. Oh my goodness. Now you guys, I will admit that especially when I was younger, I think I was more in this mind frame, but the older I get and the more complex life appears to be through the lenses of other people, and especially as a reader and as a mentor and all the different roles I play as a son, as a friend, as a mentor to people, all different types of roles that I play, I realize that we have to really deeply listen to understand people. People don't have the skill of listening. You know, people, I mean, some of you all might be listening to my podcast and everything's going in one ear, not the other one. But I'm not mad at it because I get it. At least you're supporting Oba Omi says, so I appreciate it. But, you know, listening is a skill. Like, people can talk until their tongue falls out their mouth. But who can really listen and actually understand? Or do we listen to just reply? Have you guys noticed that how a lot of people, I mean, I can say that I've done it before, but as I get older, that's something I really try to minimize. I think that's why a lot of people gravitate towards me, because I'm a very deep listener. I can practice that. Now, I can talk too, as you guys know. I can really talk, but as much as I talk, I also can listen that much. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I've listened to some people so much that I done fell asleep on them. But but that's how deep I can listen, because people can take me somewhere and I can really deeply understand them. I'm very empathic, so I understand this. So I think that that is one of the biggest communications problems, that we listen. We do not listen to understand. We listen to reply. Try not to think about what you're going to say next, because so many people get triggered by one or two words or one thing, and all they're ready to do is reply, and everything else after the trigger word goes out of their mind and goes out of their spirit. So like, you got so caught up on what triggered you that you didn't even listen to understand. You just listen, and all you can think about is the trigger word. So now you're ready to reply back, and you said this, you said that. You know, it's funny, and I can, like I said, I can't say that I haven't done it, but that's one thing that I choose not to do. You can address a trigger, you can address something that might have stood out to you, and you know, it's all kinds of reasons why people say things, so those things can be addressed. But sometimes you have to listen to everything that's coming out of someone's mouth before you can make a judgment, because whatever might have triggered you might not even have been that serious if you would actually listen to understand instead of just to reply. So I deeply agree with this particular quote meme, and I want you guys to let me know if you agree with it. Let me know what you guys think about this quote in the comments. And last but not least, this is not a meme, but this is just a little something for fun. This is a quote that I saw getting very popular. It got 1K views on Facebook, and it was funny to me, so I decided to put it here in the meme analysis section, you guys. So this one is from Ice Mike Love Asia. So it says, stuck between I'm still young and dang, I'm almost 40. I think this is so funny, and it applies so much to us quote-unquote millennials, as they call us, which, you know, if you are a millennial, none of us ever agreed to that term. And at one point, millennials was like, you know, the 2000s babies, and then somehow it got to the 80s babies and 90s. None of us understand, because that's baby boomer talk. So, you know, we just go with it because that's what they say. So, like, you know, but, you know, I think it's funny, and it applies to a lot of us, because we were a generation that definitely had the best of both worlds. We were the last generation to really experience the old world and get to know people from the old world, but we're definitely bringing on the new world. Our children are very much so indigo and crystal and rainbow children. You know, if you all know about those concepts of indigo children and rainbow children and crystal children, we're bringing through beings of higher elevation. So the way they think and the things that they want, they're different from, you know, what we might have wanted and things of previous generations. So, but we can deeply empathize with that in the new generation. So that's the whole thing of I'm still young. But then we also look at, dang, I'm almost 40. So, and we didn't age as quickly as the boomers did and the Gen X crack babies did. You know, we didn't age. Well, see, the 90s crack babies are doing a lot better than the 70s babies. I don't know what kind of crack they were serving to them back then when they first started all that stuff. But, you know, they looking kind of rough. But, you know, the 80s babies, we holding it down strong. We still look very good for our age. Most of us look extremely young. We definitely get mistaken for much younger than our age. People, you know, we also were babied a lot in our generation, and still in some ways we're babied to this day, even though many of the millennials and the people in their 30s or mid 30s or whatever, we're almost 40, but we were definitely babied a lot, and we appreciate the older generations for taking care of us, because a lot of them can also see how the world has morphed and changed so much between when our grandparents were alive. Like, my grandparents was born in the 20s and 30s, and you know, my parents were born in the mid-century of the 19th century. I'm not going to get into their age frames, but, you know, a lot of things have changed, and we appreciate the energy that we get, you know, from the older generations. But a lot of people in that age range can definitely feel that they're stuck between I'm still young and dang, I'm almost 40. So I think that is a funny quote, you guys, from Ice Mike Love Asia. So let me know what you guys think about this particular quote, and if you guys agree with it in the comments, let me know what y'all thinking. And definitely comment on the other memes too. Tell me what you guys think. I thought these were kind of cool and something I definitely wanted to talk about this week on the meme analysis. Alright guys, so next up we have our astrology section. So we're going to switch this up a little bit. I know in the past few episodes I've been telling you guys to go back and listen to the episodes, but instead I'm going to start giving you all a little anecdote. As I told you all before, the outer planets are not moving as quickly and they're going to be in these positions for a while. So, and to avoid it being repetitive, I'm just going to kind of give you quick anecdotes about the outer planets, but there has been some motion. A lot of the planets don't move as fast as you think. The moon probably moves the quickest, then Mercury. And obviously we know the sun changes like every zodiac period. So, that's about every 30 days or less, depending upon where we are in the zodiac. So as you guys know, we're still in Pisces season, where the sun is still shining in the light of Pisces. And there has been some interesting movement this week. We have our 3 most inner planets in Aquarius. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what's going on as far as the energy for the month. So with the sun being in Pisces, there is the compassionate and sentimental energy that's going around right now. We're kind of wanting to be isolated, to kind of be like an administrator. We're getting more into history and archives, and sometimes we're feeling a little bit in the spirit of self-sacrifice. So, with that, sometimes we have the tendency to be led astray, as I've mentioned a lot of times with the Piscean energy. This is an energy we're all kind of experiencing. So also too, once again, with the Pisces energy, there's a lack of experience or inability to apply experience practically. So, and sometimes there's lethargy and oversensitivity and emotionalism. So these are the types of energies that we have to watch out for. But definitely be mindful that there is a compassionate and sentimental mood right now. As you can see, even with this war with Russia, everybody's in the mood to give back. And, in Pisces season, everybody is like, oh, poor Russia and all these other things. So, we're seeing the sun in Pisces energy in a lot of different ways. So the moon is in Taurus right now, you guys. So Taurus energy, of course, is sweetness itself. They're convinced of their ideas and strong-willed. So we're experiencing that energy in our undercurrent with the moon energy. And our undercurrent, our subconscious, we're feeling this. In our undercurrent, we have foresight and we're very willful. And we know how to trust and we appreciate all the good things in life. So these are some things we're experiencing on our emotional side with the moon energy being in Taurus. But at the same time, a subconscious thing that we might be experiencing right now is excesses in pleasure, laziness, too much sensuality, and just being thoughtless in general. So, I know deep down within our subconscious right now, we're kind of wanting to be with the moon energy and Taurus a certain way. But keep in mind that, don't be too lazy right now. Harness some of the other signs that are in it, because we're kind of going to feel the need to be lazy right now, but we don't need to be. So just keep that in mind. It's a lot of good things going on. So we need to use the strong will of Taurus right now and everything. So let's keep going. Mercury is in Aquarius, and of course, this has a lot to do with our conscious mind and how we communicate. So with Mercury being in Aquarius, likes everything that is original. So the way that we're communicating is very innovative and very original, values independence and liberty of action, and initiating projects. So the way we're communicating, we're trying to start new things and being very individual about it. But at the same time, a humanitarian and liking to discuss a lot of things. So we're in a talky mood right now with Mercury being in Aquarius. Just try not to be argumentative or bickering or overly eccentric, because the Aquarius energy, and especially with Aquarius and all these planets right now, The being extra, like, or being weird, as some people would say. I like to say eccentric, but sometimes we need to balance that out as well. So keep that in mind with your communication. Now, be it that your love energy from the planet of Venus is in Aquarius right now too. You know, there's a lot of flowery language. And, you know, sometimes we can just detest anything vulgar. We need everything to go our way when it comes to our love connections and the things that we attract, you know. But at the same time, with the Aquarian energy, with the Venus being in Aquarius, we appreciate our independence and loves, but ideals and embellished loves at the same time. So we can kind of be kind of sappy. However, you know, you're going to like to please right now with Venus being in Aquarius and doing whatever is necessary to please. So make sure you're balancing that out. But, you know, with Aquarian energy, you're going to still be frank. But, you know, you'll have a tendency to kind of not be faithful. So just keep that in mind in your relations right now and the things that you're attracting. You know, sometimes Aquarius energy can bring the tendency to be unfaithful, because, you know, the Aquarian energy really likes to please and follow through on any adventure. So if something comes up, you know, the Aquarian might run to that, you know. And the Aquarius energy, when it comes to love and connections, doesn't like barriers. So they like liberty of action and does not like to account to anyone. So, you know, be mindful of that with this time period right now with Venus in Aquarius, because, you know, people aren't trying to be responsible for their connections right now, because it's kind of a weakness of Aquarians. So keep that in mind. So our Mars is also in Aquarius as well, so that's interesting. So people are going to be using in their progressiveness for social battles right now, as we can see with a lot of things, whether it's celebrities right now out here fighting for every cause, or whether it's, you know, politicians fighting for these causes, or really coming strong with their opinions about a lot of things. Obviously, as we can see going on around the world with the world news and everything, but it's always linked to society. You know, when it comes to our aggressive natures and our ability to achieve things, we like adventure but independence. But there can be disturbances right now, so people will rise against you right now and make you upset because of different, and things might make you upset as well because of different changes that are going on. So you guys got to make sure you're balancing that with some of the other planets. But these are some things that are going to be happening right now with Mars being in Aquarius. So the outer planets they're all going to be the same for a while. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about it. So of course, you know, Jupiter is still in Pisces. And of course, we know Jupiter is our personal expansion and our luck, and, you know, our realm of horizons and breakthroughs. So, you know, the strengths of Jupiter being in Pisces is tenderness, devotion, and charity. But also we can kind of be too pitiful right now. So sometimes we can let ourselves go with the Jupiter and Pisces energy. And sometimes we can be a social parasite. So make sure you're balancing that out. Saturn is still in Aquarius. So Saturn being in Aquarius, that's a long-term study. You know, like I've been talking about, we're recognizing a lot of things with the Saturn being in Aquarius. If family circumstances allow it right now, you all will teach yourselves about a lot of things, a lot of self-prophecies being manifested, a lot of methodical work going on. And, you know, with Saturn being in Aquarius, one thing I haven't said is that we would like to visit the elderly and be around our elders with the Saturn and Aquarius energy, because we're learning things about our life cycles. And, you know, those types of things enrich our minds with the Saturn and Aquarius energy. Sometimes with Saturn and Aquarius, you guys, we can have a lot of adversity. We can have bad luck and problems and disappointments, because Aquarians come with that energy. A lot of air signs come with that energy, so keep that in mind. So Uranus is still in Taurus, you guys. Our individuality, the planet of individuality and our uniqueness. So remember that we can be really stubborn with Uranus being in Taurus. We can even be a little bit pig-headed and obstinate, a little bit too strong-willed. And you know, remember the moon is in Taurus right now. So with the moon and Uranus being in Taurus, you're not going to be easily intimidated, but you also have to remember the other side of Taurus, the sweetness of Taurus as well. So remember to balance out your Taurian energy. So Neptune is in Pisces. Pisces is Neptune's home constellation, as I've said before, for several weeks. So we're going to like to work alone. You know, Neptune is our spiritual vision planet. So we're going to appreciate solitude in this time. So remember that. And Pluto and Capricorn, you know, once we said this is a generational thing for all the babies being born right now, but there's a lot of success that's going to come with the Pluto and Capricorn energy, because as we all know, Capricorn energy is methodical, conservative, and disciplined. So this is a good time to harness in the Pluto energy to achieve your goals and to work towards them. Don't be too miserly or too reserved, because Capricorn can be conservative. But, you know, we're kind of coming out of that because a lot of planets was in Capricorn for the past few weeks. So we're kind of coming out that energy right now. So this is what's going on with the astrology for the week, you guys. So keep all these things in mind with the planets as they're moving forward. And going ahead and looking at the moon cycles, you guys, the full moon is going to be on the 18th of this month. We're coming close to our waxing crescent moon, our waxing moon. So the moon is waxing. So now is the time to build up and do rituals of power and ascension right now, as we're building towards the full moon on the 18th of March. So you guys keep that. We're almost to the first quarter moon. So we just had our crescent moon, and we're almost to the first quarter moon on the 10th. So be mindful of your rituals. Be mindful of all the things you're doing, because this is a good time to build up energy. So we're using the moon cycle and the power of the moon to build up to our climax on the 18th for the full moon of March, you guys. So keep all these things in mind with our astrology. We have some powerful energy going on right now. I'm going to talk more about the month of March when I get to the Mary D. Lagoon reading to issue in the next segment. But, you know, astrology is really working well with the energy that's going around coming from the spirit guides, you guys. So keep all these things in mind as we move forward, and just continue to do all the things that you know you need to do to evolve. Also, guys, another reading that I do astrology birth charts as well. So if you would like to get your natal chart done as well, to analyze the energy of your birthday and the energy of the numbers in your birthday and everything and the planets in your birthday, definitely give me a contact at any of the links below, because I do that as well, numerology and natal charts, other than the Mary D. Lagoon reading and card reading. So just keep those things in mind as we continue to move forward, guys. So go forth and do likewise with all this information on astrology for today. All right, guys, and we've made it here to our final segment for the day, which is the energy reading segment. And first and foremost, since it's a new month, we're going to go ahead and start off with the monthly Mary D. Lagoon reading to Eshu to see what's going on for the month of March. If you're not sure what a Mary D. Lagoon reading is to Eshu, go back to the first episode 1 of Oba Omi Says. Scroll down in the description to the chapter that talks about energy readings, and I describe all the details about what a Mary D. Lagoon reading is and how I come with this information. So go back to episode 1, take a look at it if you're not sure what it is, and become abreast of what a Mary D. Lagoon reading is to Eshu. So other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. So for the month of March, what has Eshu gave us a reading for? What is he advising us with the energy as far as the month of March? So the month of March, the reading for this month, the Odu that was drawn in Mary D. Lagoon was Edi Ogbe. Some people may say Edi Ogbe, some people may say Odi Ogbe, but Edi Ogbe is the reading for the month, and Edi Ogbe comes in Ire for this month. So there are several messages that comes with Edi Ogbe, so let's take a look here and see what's going on. Once again, Edi Ogbe is in Ire. So this reading is based upon follow through and completion of things already in motion. So the E-ray is based upon the things that are already in motion and you continuing with the follow through of the things that you already have set your mind and your life towards right now. There is competition in the achievement of your goals, or more specifically, another person or persons that you know that knows of what you are doing and is trying to receive the same success as you. So there is some competition out there. None of this really matters, and I'll get into this in a second, but just know there are other people trying to do what you're doing right now. But you stay steadfast. So despite of what disparaging conversations may be had or discouragement may be projected onto you, your words, your opinions, your decisions, and your authoritative statements, especially about your path and direction in life, but also about others, should be in light and of good character. So be very mindful of your words in this month. Your words need to be very good. Your self-talk, the words that you speak out of your mouth, they need to all be in good character and in light for right now. The stresses and workload of the previous months will remain the same, but in this month you will begin to start reaping the benefits and the fruits of your harvest. So the workload is not going down, you guys. It's going to be, if you've been a little stressed out, it might be a little bit of a heavy workload, some heavy lifting. If it's been like that for you, if it hasn't been that bad, it's going to kind of remain consistent. But that's going to be what's going on. But this is a month that you'll start reaping the benefits and the fruits of your labor. So some aspects of darkness that you have recently experienced are turning around in the month of March. You have put in much work towards your elevation and goals, so it will be very difficult to regress or gravitate away from the pool of the light energy coming towards your aura. It's going to be hard to get off track, you guys. You all are kind of really deep in, so you're headed towards the blessings. You're headed towards the good things, kind of whether you like it or not. So don't be lazy. Keep up the work and keep it going. Be mindful that the workload will remain the same now, and now is not a time to rest on your laurels, but instead will be a time to work with and through the elevation that is coming to you. The pace of your work on whatever your life is bringing you must remain the same. Do not slack up. And I just said that, you guys. Don't slack up on any of the energy. Keep a steady pace. Things are starting to turn around. Things are starting to shape up and change for you. So keep that in mind as you're moving forward. There is much feminine energy coming to bless you that may even manifest in the form of a woman that will be a mentor, a support system, or even a love interest. However, this feminine energy can manifest in many forms and may not be the way you expected. Acting in manners contrary to what you have been doing to get this elevation may remove the attraction of this evolving feminine energy moving towards you. So there is a woman or feminine energy that's coming to bring elevation into your life. So be aware of that and stay acting in good character, because you deciding to not act in good character will deflect the feminine energy that's coming to bless you right now. It is extremely important this month to not involve yourself in arguments or hot speech, whereas this can reverse the effects of the E-ray coming into your awareness, or the goodness coming into your awareness. Naysayers are hell-bent on putting your true desires, to achieve your aspirations to the test, and will more than likely do anything to move you off your path, particularly when it comes to bringing negative opinions and conversations to your awareness at this time. So it's going to be some haters, you guys, but you must hold your tongue back and hold your thoughts, your negative thoughts back. This is not a time to involve in negative conversation, negative self-talk, or even to be entertaining people that are speaking against you. You know, do your best to be positive around them. Sometimes we're in situations where we can't help but to be around certain people, but you must do your best to stay positive in these aspects or in these times when that might come around you. You control your energy around you right now. That's what Eshu is saying. Plan to make spiritual offerings to Ifa, Eshu, and Egun to keep you in alignment on your path for this month. If you do not participate in making offerings in any denomination of Ifa or other spiritual faith that you practice, have an affirmation that you say to yourself daily. Commune with nature for a minimum of once a week. communing with nature, like walking on nature trails or by a natural source of water and meditating in these places while you commune. And spending time visiting your parents or elders in your family if your parents aren't around anymore for whatever reasons they may not be around, if you can, or making time to communicate with them for a nice amount of time at least twice this month. So you want to definitely use this time to communicate with your elders and the people in your family that you really care about. Do everything you can to not have any disagreements with your parents or any parental figures in your life for this month. Even if you do not agree with what they are saying, evolve your communication to stay reverent and respectful to their spirit while still knowing within your spirit to agree to disagree. So, it's okay to have your boundaries about certain things, but right now is not a time for disagreements really with anybody, but especially not your parents. So we got a lot on the agenda for this month, you guys. It's a lot of energy coming through. So you guys got to keep all these things in mind. It was a lot of messages that Eshu spoke on with this AD Ogbe and Erase. So keep all these things in mind. And remember, this is the last month of the first quarter. So if you have not scheduled your energetic Mary D. Lagoon reading to Eshu with me to read your year out and to see what the energy is of each quarter, for each quarter of the year, definitely get in contact to let me know and schedule your reading in the near future, you guys. So that is our monthly reading to Eshu for the month of March, Mary D. Lagoon reading. And we're going to go ahead and move on to our last portion of the energy reading segment. And finally, last but not least, we have made it to the final section, which is our card readings. We're reading from the Cards for Inner Ascension, created by my soul sister, Sunny Patterson. Link is in the bio if you are interested in purchasing these cards from her website. So what did the spirit guides speak through the cards this week as far as our affirmation for the week that we need to take into the next week? So we have, I make right decisions quickly. This is our second time getting this for the year, you guys, already. So obviously this has came back around. I make right decisions quickly. And this is significant that it's coming, especially after considering all the things that came up in the Mary D. Lagoon reading with Eshu. But we obviously need this as an affirmation and a mantra for the next few weeks coming up, but definitely for the next week. To remember our power and to remember and keep us in the right frame of mind to be decisive and to take action when necessary. We have to remember that we are balanced and we have the ability to be balanced and to make a right decision quickly. We don't have to be indecisive. We don't have to be pessimistic, but we have prepared in a lot of ways. Now, you people that know you haven't prepared, you take this information and do likewise with it. Make sure you get prepared to know that you make a right decision quickly. Go ahead and think about the things that you need to think about so that you can make very informed decisions on the things that you do. So this could also be a warning for some of you as well. So keep that in mind, that you need to be in a state where you make right decisions quickly. So keep that in mind as the weeks trickle on, especially through this week. Continue to repeat this as an affirmation and a mantra for you, because there's a lot of blessings coming your way for this month. And this is a good way to kick off the month by repeating this affirmation to yourself every day, telling yourself that you make right decisions quickly, reminding you of your power and your path and where you're headed and where you're going, that you make balanced decisions and that you can quickly make these decisions without indecision, and you can make them quickly. So keep that in mind as the week goes by. Make this your mantra, make this your affirmation. Say it to yourself in the mirror, looking at yourself in the eye. Set a timer for 3 minutes and say this to yourself over and over again for 3 minutes straight, so that it will pierce into your spirit and penetrate deep into your soul, that you might too remember that you can make right decisions quickly. Well, you guys, that's it. We got to the end of Oba Omi Says today. We've had a lot of good information come out. We got a lot of blessings coming our way from the spiritual realm, from the universe. So, we've heard a lot of interesting things going on around the world. Y'all got to hear my perspective of a lot of different things. So, gets more and more interesting by the week. I know it does. But as you guys can see, we got a lot of good energy coming to us. So, I just want to encourage you all to have the best week you can, the best month of March that you can. We're about to come up to the actual astrological new year in Aries, when Aries season starts this month. So I'm excited about that for the new year. So, I'm glad that everybody is moving forward in their life, achieving the things that they want to achieve, doing the things that they want to do. So my prayer for you all is that you all stay on track, that you all continue to evolve and continue to elevate, continue to do all the things you need to do to achieve your purpose in life in this time. So go forward, do likewise, have a wonderful, great week. Thank you all. Oh yeah, just a little bit, just to remind you guys, like, comment, and subscribe, ring the bell, schedule your year reading, go check out my station hat, all those good things, and keep all those things in mind. So until we meet again next time, Oba Omi, over and out.